Prepare for battle.
Splash damage, but not anymore, which makes them obviously significantly worse against illusions. Because before, let's say you had a cluster of illusions, if all the wards hit even just one illusion, they would probably clear most of them, thanks to the splash damage. But now, there's obviously no way you can micro each of the 10 different wards individually to properly focus down illusions or anything like that. So, yeah, even like a couple illusions can just clear the wards very, very quickly, considering PL's high attack speed and the fact that all the wards will like let all their hits loose on one illusion. They will kill it, but the wards only attack like once per second. So looks like Friends will be running an aggressive try-in. I like this choice. Now, DC's lane is not weak per se. Avenge is quite a strong lane carry, but she's not strong against 3 heroes. At least not at her best. And also Rasta is a notoriously very weak lane support. Of course his damage got buffed. That's great. His HP got buffed, but still low armor, slow. I mean 305 wound speed with a wind lace. This hero is just very slow. And we can see that, yeah, it will be a lane swap coming up from DC. They do not want to go up against this Trident, because as mentioned, it is quite scary. I mean, this PL just runs in, you know, pops the Spirit Lance, maybe the Doppelk later on, and then a couple of PL illusions on you, the Shadow Wave comes out, and you take just some massive damage. So, yeah, we will see. Friends also always want to fight already TPing. Bit of a bait here with Afterlife, but he... much of a bait is really... And now always want to fly out of position. He already skilled Shadow Poison Touch. No Grave, no heal, and that's gonna be first blood. And, you know, rather odd. I mean, you see the... They saw the Rasta and the Slardar, and they knew that those are the two supports, so it's, you know, not a stretch to assume that Venge will be arriving soon too. So far, it's like Friends may be content with dual laning, despite that, you know, they feel like Axe can still get at least a little bit of XP out of the lane and perhaps move into the jungle. PL... Yeah, PL Omni, like again, this matchup I haven't seen much. Omni is very strong though against melee heroes. Won't be able to finish the PMS, but Slipper is now removed from the side shop. But with the Stout Shield, he should be able to tank the illusion hits quite well. And again, Rubik doesn't really contribute a whole lot on the lane. See, these right clicks are barely tickling the Omni. The lift does secure Rubik the last hit on the big troll, which is quite significant, but still Omni is fearless. Full. Not really afraid of dying at all. Meanwhile, mid lane, I see Invoke actually pulling out very far ahead. This OD. 9 for 2 against 6 and 3. I mean, Invoker does eventually get an advantage in this lane, you know, once he gets a couple more points in Exhort, you know, maybe some alacrity going, but this early on, you would expect the OD to be doing a bit better than this. Meanwhile, bottom, some action, call goes out, but the Venge stun is there, and Afterlife gonna go down again. Now they're like, okay, you know, this is not working, 2v3, we need no fear here, but you know, the Axe is dead already for the second time, and... Oh no, sorry, okay, first time, right. The first ball was actually on the Dazzle. So, first death for Axe, but it still hurts him. Like, he's only level 2 with this 3 minutes, and Axe is supposed to be a hero that does extremely well near the game, gets farmed really quickly. And, you know, that's not really how it is going for him right now. It's a nice stack, and, you know, we'll start farming the jungle. Not hard to recover as an Axe. We'll expect to still see a decently timed blink, but... You know, DC off to a good start. Their mid lane is, you know, being normalized a little bit. OD is going for that early orb build, so he can actually harass the Invoker. But 2 points in Quas, quite curious. No X, so he's not relying on the Alacrity, he just wants to play with his Force Spirit. Trade hits with the Cold Snap, but this is where the orb kicks in. It deals bonus damage to summons, so just 2 shots that Forge Spirit, even though it's only level 1 Arcane Orb. And perhaps this is not the skill build against an OD, but you know, we'll see how NT does. Has the second note that has been flying out them, so you know, double no on both mids. It's like, alright, you're going double no, I'm going double no. So they can match each other's CS capabilities. Screen gets the shackle off. Can ZXC get close enough for the stun? Will. And 2 right clicks. And I mean, this Dazzle is just so squishy. That getting frostbutted initially, let me just goes to show on his items. Nothing but a branch in terms of any kind of stats. And yeah, they're just able to take him down like that. And they're running behind mid, looking for a play here, but Rubik is there, so won't be getting anything done. Just places a ward, nice ward. Doesn't get scouted, and you know, it's a great vision. Gives him vision the high ground, gives him vision from 2 possible ganking paths. And you know, looking at the Radiant heroes, like Rubik is the only one that's really gonna threaten him, and Rubik is not very likely to walk behind him. It's quite dangerous for Rubik to do that. If there's anyone there, he just... big chance he just ends up playing himself. Now Screen with the boots as well as the windlays. You know, getting up to acceptable movement speed on his hero. But still, just it's a slow hero. Oh no, Afterlife will survive, pops the shrine, nicely forced out by Slander, but he just picks up the 2 big creeps, also takes out the hunger and gets the skeleton. I mean, that was just BM. Skeleton doesn't give you anything, but he was just about sending a message. I mean, Afterlife has to be so sad. 2 of those big creeps, it was a red, you know, tomato Ursa warrior, and it was the Dark Troll warlord. And that's just so painful. It's about what, you know, 150 gold right there, and quite a bit of XP. Could have been level 5 by now, but he's not. And you know, it's great for the Slaughter as well to have that. The nice ward, gonna be contesting room, get the lift off. Nice, hides behind the tree, will sprint out and crush him. No, no fear is ready for that move. And the lift is there. All this mid lane, Invoker still, you know, a bit of a lead. Only actually 2 points up on the Arcane Orb already, so really foregoing that early Astral. And you know, I think that's an acceptable choice because they have a Rasta on their team with 2 disables, they have a Venge with a stun, they have a Slaughter with a stun, so not really like they lack stuns or control. You know, they just want to pack a bigger punch. You know, when Rasta is shackling, you want to actually have the damage to bring that hero down, and that's where your OD maxing out the orb earlier on pays off. So worth pointing out that Rasta is the kind of hero that has all that thought against. Always want to fly, will be going down a 3rd time here. No fear TP's in to help, but just end up dying himself. Now Aloedas is here with his PL. Can probably get a turnaround kill, at least onto Screen, but 2-man crush. Take down No Fear. Aloedas now fighting up 1v2, but he has his ultimate, he has pretty good farm, and the nice crush from Slander might save ZXC's life. Another Spirit Lance coming out. Does he have the vision? No, he does not. Or yes, he does. Okay, the illusion will actually not bring it down, but the Shadow Wave finally, Always Wanna Fly gets his revenge. Very nice rotation from this PO, and we see why PO is a good pick here. I mean, BMS Aquila raindrops. This guy's just so tanky. Throws out like 4 lances in that fight. Deals a lot of damage. There's no way to kill the illusions. Like past the initial Ether Shock from Rasta, but Rasta just goes down so quickly. And you know, playing Shadow Shaman against the PO is really difficult. Like, your spells are not equipped to deal with them. It's definitely a hard counter. But what I was mentioning earlier is, yeah, like the synergy between... Okay, lift back, no kill attempt. No, NT is like, alright man, I'm farming well, no need to risk stuff. He's actually going for the power treads, no Midas. Double no wand, power treads. I really like this, is exciting. I mean, might sound silly, but it's exciting because I'm pretty sure the last, I don't know, 15 Volkers I've seen, have all gone Midas, and it's the first time. Okay, he is still going Midas, but picks up the treads first, so it's Battle Invoker that will, you know, transition back into the mine. It's not tipping down the bottom lane. He has an 800 mana pool at 9 minutes in. Meteor, not exactly on the mark, but not exactly necessary either. Cold Snap just prevents someone from getting the repel off, and, you know, that's Invoker's contribution. He picks up a nice kill. Sprinting back to mid lane, quick as he can with that 325, even slower than the Rasta. This being the one downside to going Tread Zone Invoker, you're just so slow majority of the early game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
OD wants to get some free hits in, but it's quick on the reaction. Cold Snap, Alacrity, that's a lot of hits. And now Sander tries to help out, but he's in trouble. And I mean, this Invoker is just chunking so hard. Another TP force from Lolico just to keep Sander alive. Again, this Alacrity with the treads, with the double null, just hitting for like 150, decent attack speed. It's not something you are used to when you're facing up against an Invoker. Oden's continuing the farm, and it looks like it will be that Diffusal Rush. Couple nice things to dispel. Obviously, the Omni Knight Guardian Angel. Cannot dispel the Repel though, since that patch. Also can dispel the Slaughter Sprint, which is kind of a big deal, because the way you want to play Slaughter is you want to like blink in, get a crush off, and then sprint yourself out, reset, and be able to get another done, and repeat that multiple times in the fight. Oh, this is the no blink actually, but you know, smoke and lift, oh, that will be it. Meteor connects a little bit, well, what's needed for that Culling Blade to connect, and now very nice kill on OD. Puts Afterlife very close to his Blink Dagger. It's gonna be about 11-minute Blink Dagger, which is great timing. Thunder, of course, the position 4, no expected to have his Blink Dagger delayed. He's working on it, close to halfway there. Looks like this mid tower will be traded for the bottom tower. Lolico picking that up. Somewhere on the way to this mech. They're moving him. It looks like they are gonna lose the tower, but perhaps they want to get something out of it. Crush gonna connect on Afterlife. No call. Nice ward trap, and they're gonna let him die. Call is there, but that just means more int for OD to steal. He will just ignore him. Chase down OD as well, and this might mean Roche. Nope, Slaughter is not level 6 yet, unfortunately, and they did use the wards. If they had Slaughter's ultimate available and the wards, I mean, that would be a free Roche right there, just getting 2 kills. But instead they will try to get a return tower. They do have the level 2 Vengeance Aura, but again, ward's not available, and I'm pretty sure friends want to defend this. Anti-Aura in position. They're pinging out that, you know, that's a potential TP spot. Slander sprinting in there to scout for those TPs, but friends are definitely thinking about defending this. Cans, a lot of pings coming. Oh, Afterlife smoked with the blink. This could be huge if he gets a good call, but they're spread out so far. Can he get it? He's looking for it, and he just walks into OD, gets Astro. Oh no, there's not gonna be a blink there. Lolico dropping low, forces the Guardian Angel, but now Crush actually misses. Afterlife gonna be swapped back in. That may be a mistake. Omni Knight already dead. Wraith comes out for Axe and dunk onto ZXC. Now the chase is on, and they have to bail. Slander will try to keep his team alive, but that may end up being the wrong decision. He will still survive, or will he? Another Spirit Lance and the Poison Touch. The chase continues. I mean, the chase from this team is just amazing, and Cold Snap now prevents the crush. He will die too. And what a strange fight. I mean, Lolico was so deep. Afterlife did actually not get any good call off. He just got Astroed immediately. It looked like, I mean, the Judo company, they weren't entirely sure whether they wanted to fight or not. You know, we could see it kind of looked like a sacrificial play by Lolico, you know, just running towards the enemies, make sure, all right guys, they're gonna chase me down and kill me, but you can get out. And it looked like they were backing off. Crush not gonna connect, but yes. But then ZXC with the aggressive swap on the Axe, wanting to fight after all. It's in a good position to actually get the call off after the swap, and then the chase was on. Not looking at this, but he's completely alone. Sunstrike will be there, but so will the mech and the repel, and that was a bait if I've ever seen one. Bit of a nice pickup. Time to switch over to network. Could have done it a bit earlier. Thunder trying to finish up his Blink Dagger. No fear they get the crush, so they have a nice, you know, lift into Slitherine Crush combo. A lot of stun time. You know, time to set up the Sunstrike, but no Sunstrike will be it will actually be used, and there's the stun combo. But now Lolico here, can he get the Guardian? There's no Guardian Angel, so the right clicks will finish him off. Repel, not enough. No Fear will try to repel TP. Nice attempt, but it does go down. So fairly action-packed game now. Lowdance getting close to his defusal, needs about 900 more gold for that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Screen has the mana boots. And you know, this is kind of the classic offlaner contrast. You know, you have one offlaner goes for the mech, the 5-man, the team fight items, the sustain. The other offlaner goes for the blink, the aggression, the initiation. Difference is though that Slander, I mean, he only has about 1.1k gold, but he will eventually get the blink as well, so... You know, the Hero Company are gonna have both the initiation as well, but hold that thought, Meteor off the mark, but it shouldn't matter because nice clean. Doppelganger dodge on the crush, DD on this PL, and Slander goes down again. I mean, honestly, a little bit greedy, like his team is getting a free tier 1 top, no one is defending it, it's pretty obvious that friends are not around the top side of the map, so when he's farming out this far mid lane, not really that crazy to expect him to get caught. You know, he is just a position 4, but might as well be a position 1 right now because his blink is what's gonna impact the game the most, the single item that will have the biggest. Be the biggest difference maker for the way these fights develop. Another thing to point out, by the way, for this OD build, didn't actually think of it initially, but leaving the Astro level 1 is a pretty good decision when you're up against the Rubik. Now Rubik, obviously, pretty much always steal the Astro because Orb cannot be stolen, ult you use rarely. And even if it does steal the ult, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, hold that Toto, Afterlife looking for the jump again. But again, this is Deja Vu, the exact same scenario. ZXC farming with this bench, the exact same place with Lolico behind them. Afterlife will not make the same mistake twice and does not jump him. Always want to fly TP's mid, push that out. Then continues farming mid, work on that Blink Dagger, now has a bit of backup in the form of screen. But as I was mentioning, you cannot really prevent the Rubik from stealing your Astro Imprisonment. But what you can do is make sure that when he does steal it, it's just a level 1 Astro. And level 1 Astro is... Okay, Battle Hunger goes on the creep there, which that was the idea. Perhaps just wants to give himself movement speed so he can get out. Wave of Terror will be a little bit too late. TP successful. Slander now very close to the blink. They friends pick up a tower top, you know, NT looking okay with his farm. I mean, some Walker build. I would say he did get a couple kills thanks to it, and he even went for the damage down, so it's really heavy on the right click. He did pick up a couple kills of it, and looks like, you know, he's about a bit over halfway to his Aghanims, 17 minutes in. It's not the fastest Aghanims. We've seen a lot of Midas into Aghs at like 15, 16 minutes, you know, pretty decent Invoker games. And he is actually 4-0-4, but, you know, it's worth pointing out that he is quite involved. Again, like 4-0-4, he's been 8 out of 10 kills, and not just with Sunstrikes, but also with right clicks, just being there, getting those that clutch cold snap, you know, preventing the Slaughter Crush, preventing the Omni Repel, and just being there. A tier 2 for tier 2 classic trait. DC do expend the rest awards, but it's not the biggest deal. And I think they're fine with these trades because there are no super huge items coming out for friends right now. Perhaps the Axe Blade Mill, but again, as mentioned, they have the counters, they have the heals, they have the defensive Astrals and the defensive swap and whatnot. So the call should not be a big issue. PL was about to get his defusal anyway, but going for the tower trade means that now Slaughter finally has his blink. And, you know, TC's method of starting fights just got a whole lot better. Roche will most likely be the next major point of contention. If we look at... These are actually waiting a very long time. I mean, they have a sentry, they know that there's no vision of them, they have a ward, they're just waiting for someone to defend this lane. And finally, the line is drawn by NT. And some defensive ping. Now always want to fly walking up the cliff, but just as that screen... Okay, cancels the piece, like finally. I mean, we waited here for 30 seconds, we're gonna get a kill. Not the the target they would have chosen if they could, but it's a kill after all, and gives them a little bit of space. Now they know that there's no Dazzle top, and the low will be switching his TP in. There we go. Looking to bail out. The jig is up. They know that they're just too top, and they have to get away. Friends should realize that there's an observer placed here. Well, it's a pretty nice spot though, because normally most common observers are either... I mean, on the cliff is always the most common one. We rarely see that one anymore because it's just so easy to deward. This is one that's a little bit less common, but gives pretty much the same vision while dodging a lot of sentries. This is another common one as well, gives that vision as well as the lane, possibly the best vision, but also common and easy to deward. And this one is the one in the middle where it's like the vision is slightly worse, but it's kind of like in the middle between the common sentry spots, which means it may just not get dewarded, or they may attempt to deward it but actually miss it. And we're gonna no fear, no sentries on him, but here's always 1-5 with sentries. So let's see where he places the sentry. It should be very interesting if he gets it or not. And yeah, he will be placing it up on the cliff, and this is just out of range, so very, very nice ward. Not sure who placed it. It's gotta be either Screen or Slender, but great ward, because this is it's a very crucial spot to have vision in, very common. And, you know, getting that vision, but then also making sure it doesn't get dewarded when they try to. It's huge. Right, Afterlife, will they make the jump? But, I mean, again, it's not always played. Omni is right behind them. Slender smoked up, though. May see initiation, they place a ward. Sentry was already there, though. Freshly placed Sentry, which means, even though it's nighttime, the Sentry still had a little bit of vision around it. And Slender actually placed the obs right on top, so they noticed the obs. I mean, now they're gonna just send the visions to kill it safely. But these are not actually hitting the Roche. Okay, now they are. They commit, they drop the wards, they drop the amplify. But Friends definitely know this is going on. Slender looking at the jump. Let's quickly switch between visions. And Friends have no vision whatsoever. They're very scared. And even though this ward got dewarded, they still have this one on the cliff for Friends. And looks like this will be a free Roche. Yes, hello, that's just farming on the cliff. And Friends decide, you know what, it's too risky. And I mean, Sunstrike will finally scout out, but no Roche last hit, unfortunately, for NT. And DC get themselves the Aegis. Now, let's check out the net worth graph. Quite an even game. You see 2k lead for Friends, but, you know, with that Aegis, it's gonna go down to next to nothing. And considering it's 32 to 30k, I mean, that's pretty much the same. It's a very, very small percentage difference. Less than 10% difference, really. So, looking at this screen, yeah, now he picks up his Blink Dagger thanks to Roche. So now they have two ways to initiate. And Rasta with a Blink Dagger, I mean, support Rasta is quite similar to Lion. Of course, Impale versus Shaco is very different. I mean, Impale being the AoE stun, but the key thing here, though, is that, like, you kind of have to interrupt that Shaco. It's such a long disable. I mean, it's only level 1 still, but even at level 1, 3 seconds, and eventually turns into, you know, what is essentially a Fiend's Grip. And you really want to cancel it, but then he will have X'd one guy already, so that's one guy out of the fight. Then another guy is shackled, that's two guys disabled. And then if one of the remaining three has to also, like, cancel that shackle, I mean, sure, they have spells, but, like, you're not gonna... If you use Call just to break the shackle, that's probably a lost fight, because that means you're not calling the OD, you're not calling the Venge. And then that means you kind of have to use Lift. But again, like, Lift, I mean, they only have Call and Lift, and maybe an Evoker Call Sentinel. They have about 4 disables. One of those 4 disables is going on the Rasta position 5. That's definitely a win for DC. And that's what makes this Rasta so good. And then even if you kill him, he probably already dropped his wards and used his nuke, so... Oh, Afterlife gonna be scouted out and she's caught here. I'm not sure how they saw him. I guess just sensed that something was up because how aggressively Friends were playing on the top lane. Which suggested that, you know, they probably see him on the bottom and, you know, maybe there's someone waiting to catch them. ZXC going for the Maelstrom here. Okay, so as I mentioned, against the PO, you do want one of your cores to eventually get that AoE damage item. So definitely really, really like this Maelstrom pickup. We'll go straight for the Mjolnir there because Mjolnir is I mean, it's... Oh, actually Blink picked up on... Oh, that's quite interesting. With the cooldown reduction talent, only 10-second cooldown on the Blink, 8 with the Doppelganger, makes him very elusive. And makes sure that he can get on top of the Rasta. So, I mean, I was mentioning how strong that Rasta is in fights as a position 5 because he disables, he does so much and you don't want to commit on him. Hang on, might see no fear go down here. No mobility item for him. 40 gold away from the blink. He really does not want to die. The stun will not connect. Stun, you know, and swap have the same cast time. 0.3. But the swap actually... I mean, the stun obviously is a missile, which needs to fly out and hit him. And we see it did fly out. He did cast it. It just didn't connect in time, even though they were melee range. So maybe if he went for a swap instead. Obviously, not having a missile that could have cancelled the TP. Perhaps a bit of a mistake by ZXC, but not the biggest deal. I mean, yeah, he does complete his Blink Dagger now, no fear, but... Well, as I was mentioning, Rasta being very strong in fights for a position 5 hero, having a big impact. That's where the PL kicks in, because PL is able to just clear him and, like, I mean, just blink on top of him and kill him in, like, literally 2 seconds flat. Like, Rasta, very little armor. HP is also not the greatest, and yeah, they don't want to commit spells to keeping him alive, obviously, so... but again, how the fights will go exactly depends a lot on the jump. There's not a whole lot of defensive stuff going on for friends, apart from the Dazzle, but no one has a mech, so it's pretty much the Grave, and that's it. And the aforementioned Astro is actually a great counter to the Grave, because... when someone gets graved, you hit them, obviously, they stay very low at like 1 HP. Ward's already committed very aggressively. And nice jump by Slander. OD follows it up boldly with Aegis. Some spells are dropped, but now those spells are wasted because the Repel just blocks everything. And he even stuns an Aegis work with the full wand. You only see a lower dance ratting on mid, trying to get the damage going. Yes, Treads Diffusal. It's not the greatest damage, but he is doing something. Wards are almost cleared out. Can they actually take down the tier 3? Attempted deny. Will not happen. Screen already TP back with the rest, and now a low dance is in the fight. This is a 4v5 should they choose to fight it. DC obviously want to bail, and friends don't feel quite confident enough to chase this. Or perhaps they do, no fear. Lift not available, and such faith in knowing the cooldown on the tornado, I mean the Wex levels and the range. But you know, eventually the blink will cool down from a low dance and they will get. Still tier 3 for Avenge and keeping on tier 3 alive. I think DC are fairly happy with it. It could have gone a bit cleaner considering, you know, they have an Aegis, they were in a bit of a dominant position, but it's okay. As I was mentioning, Astro, bit of a counter to the Shallow Grave, because the Grave target drops to low HP. You kind of want to, you know, let them soak up some damage during the Grave and then heal them right as the Grave is about to end. But that's where you can just Astro them. It's basically waits up to... Oh, Aegis expired. He has to be careful here. I mean, this is a very dangerous position to be in. And yeah, Rubik does get that level 4 Astro now. You can Astro them as a Grave and then just time it right. You wait like a second or two of the Grave duration, and then just as the Grave ends, Astro pops and they will die to the pop damage between 5. They have their OD hitting this. It's a bit scary. Another interesting interaction to point out between the Axe and the OD is the fact that obviously... Oh, screen just gets called there. I mean, he wants to get the D word. Force staff will not really help him. It might be a fight they want to take after all. But meanwhile, Alolan as an NT, they're dealing serious structure damage. I mean, now with the Invoker, the double Force Spears, the Alacrity, they're doing so much damage. Range Rex almost goes down. They get the tier 3 OD Force TP back. Screen will go down now because now DCR kind of split up. They cannot really afford to lose the Venge. Will he get the lift off? No, not range. Quite fortunate for Zexy. I mean, if he got that lift off, we could follow it up with an Astro, give his team so much time to get there and catch the Venge. But nicely played by friends. I mean, they realized that their 5-on-5 is not super great, but I mean, these rat plays, they don't have boots of travel, but they don't need them. They're just those blink daggers. And they're actually the first team to take a shrine, believe it or not. So to get back to the OD Axe interaction, obviously if you have Arcane Orb on autocast, Axe jumps you with Blade Mail. That means you're hitting him with Arcane Orb, and Blade Mail reflects that Arcane Orb damage, which means OD kills himself very, very quickly. And because Arcane Orb is pure damage, that means Blade Mail reflects it in a pure form. So even though you cannot cast Arcane Orb on BKB targets, it's not Axe is not casting it with the Blade Mail, it's just the Blade Mail reflecting the damage, which means BKB does not save OD from hitting himself with that Arcane Orb. And don't hold that thought because ZXC just got... I mean, that's being really far out. Okay, I'm not sure what his plan was here. TP and backpack cooling down very slowly. 30 more seconds. It will be up by the time he responds. But yeah, so BKB does not save you from Arcane Orbing yourself to death on the X-Blade now. What does save it obviously is toggling it off, which you can do while you're being called. But the thing is, even with the most godlike of reactions, it's not a hotkey. At least I think you cannot really put autocast on a hotkey. Maybe you can. I doubt most people have that though. It means you have to bring your mouse all the way down here, turn off Arcane Orb autocast, and only then will you stop killing yourself with it. But when Axe calls you with Blade Mode, you know, you might not have the time to... It takes a little bit of time to react, and you will get like at least 2-3 hits off on yourself. And again, the damage is just absolutely massive. And seeing as OD is their primary damage dealer, yeah, he doesn't have a BKB, but he has the repel on. Like, this is where that interaction comes into play. Will be Blade Mail Arcane Orbing himself through the repel, and perhaps not be quite as tanky as you would like to be in these fights. But we see that, I mean, Hilarious seems to be aware of this fact, because he's not just blindly leaving his Arcane Orb on autocast 24/7, and especially leaving it off when they're running around like this, wary of an Axe jump. The moment he sees them, he's like, okay, I'm not gonna get jumped, I'm gonna be the one jumping, so it turns on the autocast. Ward is dewarded. Tanner aggressively blinks him, but Invis Rune on Afterlife, as well as a gem and a 4-step. Oh, Axe recovered quite nicely. Manta now picked up on PL. Still no Butterfly, which honestly I find quite odd, because again, these Arcane Orb hits and the Mjolnir hits, they would really suffer. Oh no, Hilarious out of position, goes for the bounty room, but blown up, and Lolico tried to blink in and save him, but the blink was too close, so he got called as well. Oh, what a disaster for DC. The gold swing is not too big, but I mean, 2 heroes down on Silence. Let's check if they have buybacks. Already the buyback from OD coming out, but Omni does not have one. 30 seconds, and tier 3 was taken earlier in the split pushing of PO and Invoker, so now the racks are exposed. Lowdan still a bit careful though, of course, but 15 seconds, I think they will want to get at least the range racks. Again, these OD hits though, they're chunking down the PO. Oh, he does actually have an evasion talent, right, I forgot about that. That explains why he's not going for the Butterfly. Has the evasion talent, which, you know, essentially is the same effect. And you might think like, oh, 15% evasion is not that much, but the big deal here is, like, let's say in a typical scenario, there's 5 illusions, you know, hitting your range racks. OD wants to kill them as quickly as possible. Normally that's 5 hits, but the moment like one of them evades, that's obviously +1 hit, and each +1 hit required to clear those illusions means OD is wasting like another second. OD is not a hero with very fast attack speed, and that means they're dealing more damage to whoever their target is. Oh, what a smoke. Nice instant astral pre-clicked by No Fear. No cast time because of the fact that he's Rubik, and now a low dance blinking. The initiation failed from DC. They're scrambling to get back, but this is such a bad fight for him. Eclipse won't really do anything. Saturn already dead. Lolico dead on the Omni Knight. OD trying to get away, but the chase is there. You're not running away from a PL with Blink Diffusal Screen, and ZXC to fall on 5-4-0. Triple kill for Low-NS. What a team fight by friends. Again, this... I mean, they're pinging the fact that there was a ward, but there wasn't a ward. It was just such a good reaction by No Fear. I mean, that's... that play alone, I think, makes him deserve MVP for this game. That single play not only like allowed him to get a 5-man wipe, but it prevented, because that was gonna be a 4-man crush. If he gets that 4-man crush, I think we see a 5-man wipe the other way. Like, this game was very close before this fight. Right before this fight, which, you know, happened like right about here. Okay, it was not, maybe not as close. Friends did have a decent lead, but still, a 4-man crush could easily lead to a team wipe. You know, like one guy gets chained with the Hex, the other guy with the Shackle, third guy is already killed, fourth guy gets, you know, eclipsed, Venge Stun. Could have easily been a team wipe for DC, but just having the presence of mind, the reflex to get that Astro off, You could see that they clicked it before Slaughter even blinked.
Dire's top barracks are under
I mean,
attack.
he broke the smoke and he blinked like half a second later. But that half a second was enough for No Fear to target the Astral. It immediately goes off when Slaughter blinks in. I mean, Slither Ring Crush has a cast time of 0.35 seconds, which is very short, of course, but again, any spell that Rubik steals has 0 cast time, which means always get it off first, so just cannot stress how good of a play that was. Afterlife blinks in to get the D-ward. Crush will connect. Will there be a swap? The swap would put ZXC on the high ground, also he doesn't want to use it. The amplified damage with the right clicks will be enough. Dominating kill streak ended from Afterlife, and they're gonna look to turn this into a Roche. Is buyback available? No, it's not. He just picked up his Yules. It was in the base, I would imagine, because otherwise he would have used it there to keep himself alive. Repel, let's go the ignore, but Alodan just blinks in, nice. Again, the crush misses, dodged by the doppelganger. Now with the Skadi just doing so much work. They cannot deal with these illusions. Disarm. Cannot do anything. Disarmed and now lifted up dead, and they get even the Aegis snatched by Always Wanna Fly as the Rasta wards get the last kill in motion. This could just be GG, and it will be. What a game. Really well played from both sides. It was fun. I think the drafts were quite even. Both sides had what they needed to win. And, you know, Friends had a slight lead, but again, that 5-on-5, both teams smoked, running into each other, and just that one play from No Fear's Rubik, just, yeah, amazing game. All played by Friends. I'm Slashtrack. You can find me on Twitter at /SlashtrackDota. I hope you